Hello guys, Alabama carries out first known execution with nitrogen gas in the US. How it happened, let's discuss in this video. What is nitrogen hypoxia? Nitrogen hypoxia is a method of suffocating a person by forcing them to breathe pure nitrogen, starving them of oxygen until they die. How is it supposed to work? Nitrogen makes up 78% of the air inhaled by humans and is harmless when inhaled with oxygen. The theory behind the execution method is that changing the composition of the air to 100% nitrogen would cause the inmate to pass out and then die from lack of oxygen. Who is Kenny Smith? Kenneth Eugene Smith is an American criminal who was convicted of the March 18, 1988 murder for hire of Elizabeth Sennett in Colbert County, Alabama. Charles Sennett Sr., Elizabeth's husband, recruited Billy Gray Williams to murder his wife. Williams in turn recruited Smith and John Forrest Parker to assist in the murder. Smith and Parker carried out the murder and stabbed Elizabeth to death at her home. A week after Elizabeth's murder, Charles Sennett killed himself when he learned he was a suspect in the murder. Billy Williams was sentenced to life without parole and died in prison in November 2020 due to an illness. Smith and John Forrest Parker were both sentenced to death. Parker was executed via lethal injection in June 2010. Smith remains on death row. Has it been used before? No state has used nitrogen hypoxia to carry out a death sentence. In 2018, Alabama became the third state, along with Oklahoma and Mississippi, to authorize the untested use of nitrogen gas to execute prisoners. However, lethal injection remains the state's primary execution method. What happened during the execution? As the procedure started Thursday evening at the William C. Hallman Correctional Facility in Atmore, Smith was fitted with a mask, a device that would be used to administer the nitrogen. The execution process began at 7:53 p.m. CT Thursday, and Smith was pronounced dead at 8:25 p.m., according to Alabama Department of Corrections officials. Nitrogen flowed for about 15 minutes during the procedure, State Corrections Commissioner John Hamm said in a news conference. Smith, who was on a gurney, appeared conscious for several minutes into the execution and shook and writhed for about 2 minutes after that, media witnesses said in a joint report. That was followed by several minutes of deep breathing before his breath began slowing until it was no longer perceptible for media witnesses, the media witnesses said. When asked at the news conference about Smith shaking at the beginning of the execution, Hamm said Smith appeared to be holding his breath for as long as he could, and may have also struggled against his restraints. There was some involuntary movement and some agonal breathing. So that was all expected and is in the side effects that we've seen and researched on nitrogen hypoxia, Hamm said.